Hey everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. I am in front of my copy carver, and a couple months ago I did a video where we did the German carve on some Mosrite style guitars with the copy carver and had a lot of questions about the unit, and I thought, you know what, let's do a video where we discuss how our copy carver works and let you guys see it in action again. So when we built the copy carver originally, it was going to be the do-all tool, and we discovered that the thing that it really excels in is making carved tops. So we don't have, as you can see, it takes a pretty big footprint, so we don't have it out all the time. This table gets moved off to the side, and then whenever we need to use it, we can put it up on the big bench here and use the copy carver. Now that's provided we get all the tools and crap off the big bench first. So I want to walk you through some of the features of the copy carver and give you just a brief rundown of how things work and why it's cool. This is an old school tool. They used to use these at Gibson, I know, in combination with a slack belt. I don't have a slack belt, but they did have a copy carver. Anywhere where you had carving, like on this Les Paul style here, back in the old days, they probably used a machine not unlike this. One more thing, you can buy a copy carver or you can build a shop-built one like we have here. I don't even remember where I bought all the components for this, but if you look up linear rail and linear bearings and some bushings and things like that, I'll try to give you some close-up pictures so that you can get an idea of what you're going to need if you want to build one of these yourself. All right, let's take a look at how the unit works and walk you through some of the basic principles. In order for the copy carver to actually work, it has to have something to copy, and it has to have something to carve, hence the name. So in a little bit later in the video, I'm gonna be copying from this carved top template, and I'm going to be carving onto this body right here. And it looks like this body's already been done, but I need to take it down about another 1/8 of an inch, so we're going to use the copy carver to do that. Our copy carver is set up to be 17 inches offset from the guide stylus to the actual cutting head. Okay, we've got the piece that we're carving out of the way so that you can get a better idea of what is going to happen here. So you would move the stylus directly on the master copy, or the master template, and watch as the stylus moves across the master, and watch what it does in relation to the actual carving bit. So as you can see here, it's, you know, we'll scooch over a little bit, and you can see it moves it, and it exactly copies the piece. Someone once asked me, they're like, that looks pretty cool, but it's not very accurate. Well, actually it is. It's very accurate, provided you do everything on your end correctly. All right, let's talk a little bit about how this tool works and some of the features of the tool. You already know that the stylus here follows the master template, and the cutting bit on the router routes the actual piece. But there's a little more going on than that. We have 3 axes. Actually, we have 2.5. So we have an X-axis, which would be this fore and aft, and we're riding on some linear rail here with some bearings, and you can find those at Granger, or you can look on eBay, or you can go to, and I can't remember where I even bought them, McMaster Car, maybe somewhere like that. We also have a Y-axis, and these are brass bushings on a 1-inch shaft here, and they're not actually bearings, they're just bushings that are riding on the shaft. It's nice and smooth. The reason we don't really care about bearings on that is because the router, we only set the router up and cut it while it's going along the X-axis. So, I see, Ian, can you get a cop? Let's see. People have asked about how we lock the Y-axis down. It's really simple. It's this bike brake, and it just keeps it from moving. Now it still allows the tool to move on the X, but it doesn't allow it to move on the Y once you lock it down. All right, remember I said there were 3 axes? There's really not quite 3. On a CNC machine, you'd have the Z axis, which would be up and down. Well, in this case, we have we have kind of that. We have this angle here. And that is made possible again by these brass bushings, which allow the whole mechanism to move on the y-axis and pivot on said axis. So it allows it to move this way. Let's talk a little bit about, we have a standard 2 horsepower Bosch router here, and these are just regular U clamps that you can buy also at McMaster Car. We ended up putting a counterweight here. You can move this so that the router, you know, always indexes down like this. What you don't want to do is have it so that if you let go or something happens, it bashes down into the piece. You have to be careful because you can get a little bit of wiggle, and if you do it wrong, you can, you know, if you're not smooth, you don't get a nice smooth cut. So having a counterweight is a very important thing. So yeah, let's actually put the master template in, and let's put the piece to be carved in and get it set up, and let's see this machine in action. Okay, so we've got our place for the master template to go and the place for the piece to be carved set up here. And now we're just going to drop those in, and we're going to verify along the way that we got everything where it needs to be. All right, let's talk a little bit about the clamshell pieces that are holding the master template and the piece to be carved. These are just pieces of plywood that are the negative image of the device here. So we can put these guys in, and then see it's almost like it's hinged. So then we'll lock it down, and we're not going anywhere. So Happy Meal. Okay, we got one more chance to make sure everything on the master is corresponding to the piece to be copied and carved on. Does that make sense? So we're just going to go around and make sure. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go to some key areas here. I'm touching here, and I'm touching there. Touching there, and I'm touching there. So I think we're okay. So let's go ahead and do it to it. Okay, so that is how the copy carver works. We're going to try to head off a couple of questions at the pass here. One is, who built this machine? And that was, it's all entirely built by me with no help from anyone else, ever at all. Kevin is right over there, and he knows that he did basically everything on this. So really, all I did was reverse engineer the design from a YouTube video that I watched where a guy had something like this, and Kevin did all the work to implement everything to get it to function properly. Ian wanted to know which came first, the chicken or the egg. The master template was obviously had to be hand carved because we didn't have access to a template to copy. I didn't put my actual Les Paul down here and copy carve onto to the template. So this one was done by hand. But if you have any other questions about how the copy carver works, or how this setup is, or if you'd like to tell me I'm full of crap, please do so in the comment section below. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, as always, what in the fuck are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. This is Matt at Texas Toast Guitars reminding you that if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody.